Me, 28M, and my GF, 26F, were in a very happy relationship ever since we met in a bar where both of us talked to each other the first time, me being horribly drunk. I do know how to play the charisma card, especially while I am drunk, and we've talked for hours on end, eventually both being wasted AF, where I have decided to go home. She was with a friend who stayed sober, so I knew she had someone to safely bring her home as well. While we were exchanging numbers, she asked me if I wouldn't like to spend the evening with her. Trust me, I wanted to, but I knew I was way too wasted, and asked her for a sober meeting, since both of us seemed genuinely interested in each other. She eventually agreed and both of us started dating for a while. The reason I am telling you all this will become apparent soon. The relationship turned into something very fruitful, so that after 3 years of being in a relationship, we've decided to live together. During the beginning of 2020 I actually thought about proposing to her, but then COVID had hit and all further plans were postponed into the future. We have loved each other unconditionally, and she felt the same way about me as I felt about her. Basically being the best friends in the world, true lovers and all this stuff that kind of feels weird to say to others besides your partner. My trust to her was unshakable, and so was hers. There was no second in which I didn't consider her. Be it financially, be it a big decision, e.g. which master's course I should enroll in, should I get my hair transplant surgery, stuff like this. I have always considered how it would affect her and our relationship, since till to this day I was deeply in love with her. We had this annual tradition, where we would meet at the same bar we've met the first time at the same day. We would get wasted AF, laugh a lot, be playful and not sleep with each other. I know it sounds kinda weird, but for us this was like reminding ourselves of why we fell for each other in the first place. Since the day we met, all these things also happened in the same way. And it worked, again and again, since my love for her just grew over the years, and I knew in some way hers grew as well. But the last time I felt something was off. First of all, she kinda behaved weirdly whenever I mentioned us going to that bar and reliving our tradition. She also kinda changed her attitude towards me, became what some would call being cold and quiet. She started to act a bit more distant, would come home and go to bed without saying good night. Little things in the beginning, but they have piled up. I didn't talk to her about it, because I didn't want to make a fuss about something minor that could have just been in my head. That's what I always told me. I also didn't talk to anybody about it, since all my friends and family loved her, and I didn't want to ruin their image on her for something that might have just been in my head. At one evening, however, my GF didn't come home in the evening. This already happened a couple of times even before she started acting differently, so I didn't think much of it. But all the weeks of her being cold got to me this evening and I sought intimacy, not physical, I just wanted to feel close to her again. So I ended up going to the bar where we met for the first time, one thing I would never do, just to feel some sense of closeness to her. I am far from being over-attached and clingy, on the contrary, we always gave each other enough space when knees carry. But all the previous days acted up so that I really just wanted to go there and get wasted in the very bar we've met. To my surprise, I saw my girlfriend sitting there as well. She was talking to the bartender and didn't seem to have somebody with her, which was weird, since I knew she would never drink out alone without someone around her. The way she talked to the bartender really fucked with me. She was all smiley, joyful and charismatic, the same way I got to know her all these years, but in recent weeks completely forgot about, since her behavior was so different in my head. By then, I knew the problem wasn't me thinking she acting differently. I realized that she actually was acting differently when I saw the way she talked to the bartender, who has worked there for a couple of years already, so he knew about me and my girlfriend's tradition. I didn't want to go over to her, mainly because my suspicion grew, even though my heart was racing. Both of them didn't seem to have noticed me. After a while, however, the bartender got his shift exchanged, and he packed up his stuff to go home. My girlfriend followed him and they both ended up getting in his car. I got angry but still delusional, thinking this was some sort of a big joke or misunderstanding that would start making sense if I knew the entire picture. Long story short, I have followed them and saw how they both entered his apartment after kissing on the front door. My heart was shattered into million pieces that moment when all the delusions and excuses I had disappeared in an instant. I could not believe how the person I thought was my one and only true love, the one person I trusted more than anyone, would break my trust in this way. I have been through some gruesome physical pain in my life, but no physical pain could compare to the feeling I had in that exact moment. My breath became short, my eyesight started flickering, and I thought any moment I would faint. All these years, wasted. Everything we have built was destroyed in my head. Fast forward when she came home, I obviously confronted her and told her I knew everything and that I have seen them. She didn't even hesitate telling me the truth. In fact, she seemed quite proud to tell me that this was going on for a very long time, and every time we celebrated our annual tradition at the bar, she would end up fucking the bartender for the past couple of years, and that she had decided to just stay with him from now on. That really just drew the screw inside my already shattered heart. I owned the apartment, so I asked her to pack her stuff and leave. She eventually did, and I have never again heard anything from her. My heart is still in pieces and I don't know how to trust anyone anymore, when the one person I have trusted the most did something so gruesome to me. At this exact moment, it feels like it is impossible for me to ever trust anyone again. This all happened about 2 weeks ago, and I still can't function normally. I am broken down, a crying mess and really don't know how I can handle everything that has happened.